Hey, Frank Ahearn, privacy expert, author of How to Disappear and the Modern AI War Edition. So I'm going to talk about how to disappear, but in a new perspective that, vanishing is no longer digital. And what I mean by that, it's not about, hiding your cookies or erasing your digital footprints anymore, using a prepaid phone. Those are, today they're tools and gimmicks. And if you look online, everybody wrote a book about it. People still talk about it. And it's become ridiculous because technology has just, and tracking technology. And tracking is no longer about, quote, the footprints. It's about your behavior. And that's the future of disappearing, changing your behavior, being aware of your behavior. Because what happens is all the software out there hunts you based on your behavior. For example, there is a software that law enforcement uses somewhere in the US where it tracks license plates. And it, if a license plate stops somewhere really quick, or if it goes from one city, returns to the next morning, they flag it, they pull the person over. I mean, totally illegal, but that's what they do. I mean, this idea of freedom we used to have is just dwindling away. Freedom is no longer about freedom of speech or this, so-called the Second Amendment, whatever. Freedom should be about you and your right to protect yourself and not have intrusion. So when you think about disappearing in the future, you need to consider the fact that it's no longer these things you can utilize. It's about things you cannot see. It's about, how you perform online, what you do online, where you go with your mobile phone. It's beyond you it's beyond the tools. It's just you as a person. What about me is trackable? And I don't mean, that you sign on and watch Netflix every night. Just more so, it's like, what do you watch? How do you surf? Where do you post? It's just everything in general. The future of privacy, in my opinion, does not look very bright. I mean, if you look at, what's happening in the States, they're just creating, these software palantir where they're taking away everything from you. So I'm sorry if this is a bit of a rambling, but it's a disturbing kind of topic when you think about that you have to defend yourself from your government. And so with that said, check out my new book, How to Disappear AI War Edition. Be smart, be safe, and, freedom is what you make of it. Freedom is what you choose, what you take. That's what it comes down to. Be safe.